So, thank you. As you can tell, my Greek is quite limited, so I'm going to run this one in English, if you don't mind. Really appreciate it, because I know everyone here speaks perfect English, so it won't be a problem. So my name is Lars Lynch, coming from Barcelona, Spain, from the US originally, but I've been quite a while in Spain here, so I love this beautiful hot weather. Right on the sea, makes me feel right at home. I appreciate it. So I'm going to tell you, again, shorter story. I don't get too technical here. Anyone here head of IT, CIO? Just so I know? Okay, so we'll keep it definitely far away from IT. Not a problem. But even if you're not in IT, we see a lot of our large enterprise customers doing big transformational projects, right? If it's something working on old systems that they want to upgrade to the new, or just as you saw in that Aston Martin project, right? They want to bring all these different systems together under one pane of glass, right? And that's the dream that Salesforce holds out to you. But if you've talked to any of your IT people, or you've tried this yourselves, you know that one thing is the dream, the other thing is how do we get there? How do we put all this stuff together and make it work well, right? And that's where we come in. So certainly you're going out there and you're choosing your best-in-class products, you're choosing Salesforce. You probably, if you're in this room, you already have SAP, and you have a lot of other services that are really best-in-class. And our job is to put those together and put them together well. Do it quickly and do it so we can get these things over and you can really get back to what you need to focus on, your customers. That's where we want to get to. Now this is kind of IT focused. We do this from integration, connecting the pieces, protecting all this stuff, right? Because it's one thing, it's great to connect it, but today we know how many problems people have securing all this stuff. And then honestly, we used to think of this as an IT problem, right? Just to have IT do it. They have budget, they can do this. But if any of you talk to your IT departments today, you know that they have a long list of projects and they might tell you, come back when you have budget or come back in 6 months when my backlog is a little bit lower. So we'd really like our business people to be able to get in on the fun up to a point, right? But really be able to participate more in this idea of automating, connecting. What more can we do here, right? So I want to tell you a story about one of our most successful manufacturing companies, certainly lots of SAP around in their house, and show you how they were able to do it, right? So this is a company, TEKA, out of Switzerland. Does anyone think they know TEKA products? I'll give you a clue. If you have a house, you probably have some TEKA products built into it, right? So this is TEKA and what they've done with MuleSoft. Because TEKA makes everything concrete, waterproofing, roofing, and they do a very nice business out of Switzerland to the tune of about, I'd say, 10 billion euros a year, right? So TEKA, obviously a global enterprise, factories all across the world, distribution all across the world, and they have many of the problems that I'm sure you across your businesses are seeing. How do we make this all happen? I'd love to have this dream of everything in one pane of glass, but it's not as easy as it sounds, right? So how do they do that? And they pick their best-in-class stuff, right? Just like Bill said earlier, Salesforce, SAP, ServiceNow, Office 365 from Microsoft. So lots of different tools, and this is standard for what we're seeing across the industry, right? We've picked all the best. Now what? How do we put it all together, right? And this is certainly not a unique problem to them. So they had a strategy. Long time ago, they were doing, I don't know, probably many of you don't have to be embarrassed, but they were just kind of making things work, putting the pieces together as they could. They had their IT department maybe writing some code, putting things together. And it was a problem because, the business would have these great dreams, and then the IT department would tell them, yeah, it's going to take us at least 6 to 9 months to put these projects together. We have to integrate. It's going to take a while, but we'll work on it. And this slows the business down, right? TEKA was not happy with this. They needed to improve things. So they put on their thinking hats. And this was kind of their architecture before. Certainly they're a huge SAP house, right? Lots of SAP everywhere. ECC, S4HANA, bit of everything. They were huge Salesforce customers as well. But the connections between these weren't great, right? One thing was the people that were running SAP, the other people that were running Salesforce. But it didn't work as smoothly as they'd like. And they had real serious problems moving forward, innovating, moving faster. That's where they wanted to go, and they weren't able to get there yet. So they said, you know what? We're going to roll out a new product here, We're going to bring MuleSoft in, and MuleSoft will do everything outside of SAP. So they trusted SAP, as I'm sure many of you do. Certainly TECA has done a great job for many years installing, running, developing SAP. But you know that SAP, it's a special system, right? It has, very special requisites. Usually the SAP teams are very specialized, and they don't really want to go outside of that, nor should they. So at TECA, what they did was bring in MuleSoft for everything outside of SAP. And that was their strategy. Look, we'll move forward with two tools here, one that's specialized in SAP, and the other one that will handle everything else, right? Now, I have to tell you a secret here. At the beginning, these two teams hated each other, right? You imagine like, ooh, what are these guys doing? Oh, what are they doing? But eventually they merged these teams together, and now I want to say they're best friends. Because the SAP team has come to realize, look, I can focus on what I do best, SAP, all day long. Anything that's connected inside the SAP world, that will be done through the SAP team. But anything that's outside of it, the MuleSoft team can handle and deliver to the SAP team nice, easy-to-use services. They don't have to worry about everything else. They don't have to worry about security and all this other public internet stuff. That stuff's handled for them and delivered in a nice package right to the SAP team. So they can continue to focus on what they've always done well, right? That's the idea behind all this. So this kind of architecture would look like, great. But more importantly, this is a global company. They have a lot of different things, and even if they have a lot of the same systems, different countries and different regions, as you know, require different things, right? In Asia, they have certain ways of working. In Europe, they have different HR regulations. In America, they do things differently. So even in the different markets, they need different applications and different integrations, and they can do that while reusing all the same common platforms. So this really helps to say, look, we're all in the same company, but we need to adapt to our local markets to roll out faster, yeah? So they were able to go a lot faster, 50% reusability, and honestly, they were able to get down to 6 times faster. So that 6 months that I told you about earlier got down to about 6 weeks to roll something out for integrations, which is a huge savings for them. You can imagine how many things they're doing. Certainly they save money, but really it's the reuse. It's that every time I have a new project, I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I don't have to come at this again and do things over. So they're able to move a lot faster now that they have MuleSoft. So that's our job in the Salesforce ecosystem, and beyond, we connect the pieces. We're not sexy, right? But we are in there doing the absolute job that needs to be done, connecting the systems and delivering the magic, delivering that AI, delivering things for Data Cloud, bringing the insights back to your customers. So you won't see us very much, but you'll definitely know if we're not there, right? And certainly, just as Salesforce is #1 by far in CRM, we are quickly #1 in managing and putting all these pieces together, right? So that's where we are. Good stuff. Now that was a great story, business, I know, and I'm going to finish on a more personal story. You've been a great audience. I know we're all eager to have some drinks. So this is a personal story. So we said that there were just a few CIOs here, and I'm imagining if you're not a CIO, I'll imagine everyone else is a CEO, right? Boss, good stuff. So in my home, I'm the CIO, right? I'm an IT, come from do-it-yourself. So when my CEO, she said to me, honey, we need a new dining room table, right? Typical CIO answer from me was, ooh, I can build that, right? Easy, how hard can it be, right? So as a CIO, I went on YouTube and I spent some weekends in the garage, and I spent some nights in the garage and more weekends and more nights. And eventually, 5 years later, and 2 children later, finished the table, right? Beautiful, it looks great in the photo. But I can't get back those, 5 years of weekends and nights that I didn't always have with my kids or with my CEO. Also, the table looks great here, but I can see its flaws, and I can't change it. And my CEO, she's terrified to tell me someday, I think we're ready for a new dining room table, right? She's worried what would happen. So take that story as you like, but definitely think about where do you want to invest your resources, right? With your stakeholders, here's 2 of my stakeholders, and your CEO, or do we want to spend it nights and weekends in the garage working on our table? So yeah, short and sweet team. Thank you so much, everyone, and ευχαριστώ. All right.
Thank you, Lars. Εδώ ολοκληρώνονται οι παρουσιάσεις μας. Allow me to make a short concluding statement, and I'd like to make it from the heart and in English for the benefit of our extended audience. At TEKA Systems, no matter how much we succeed, we keep feeling that we owe you. We owe you to work as champions always, and not just as service providers. We owe you our dedication to excellence and to the best that's available and more complete and more secure. And in this everlasting endeavor of ours at TEKA Systems, we are blessed to have a partner like Salesforce. So thank you, Sinan, thank you, Vicky, thank you, Mario, and thank you, Lars. We look forward to building incredible value with you here in Greece. Thank you.